My name is Sina, so maybe the first name is pretty well for me. I'm the co-founder of Vinya, and Vinya, as Hunt told, is a e-learning company, especially for mandatory e-learning. And I want to talk about the project we did, so the company we built, and also how to design mandatory training that is often considered to be very dry and boring, and how we design it to make it more interesting for the employees in especially small and medium-sized companies. And maybe I'll just start how to explain what Vinya is, or what the idea of Vinya is. So Vinya is an all-in-one solution for employee instruction. That means that we provide e-learning courses for mandatory instructions, such as data safety instructions or occupational work and safety instructions. And on the other end, the training management for this training schedules in one software. And we continuously update our courses, and we're working with a lot of partners, like experts for data safety, to build a very legally compliant instruction, because legally content is very important in this part. And our platform is totally web-based, so it can be used everywhere, anytime, especially for the employees, which can do the e-learning courses whenever they want to. So our aim is to build courses with a very good learning experience, because the mandatory training is mostly extrinsically motivated, because the company has to do it. And so it's not a topic employees really like to learn about. So our aim is to turn this mandatory training into voluntary learning, and to guarantee them a very good learning experience also in the long term. Here you can see our platform. So it's one training management platform. Here you can see it's all in German, but the status of all instructions, for example, it's one example page for the administrator who can check whether the instructions are really made by the employees with the traffic light control. And on the other hand, you have the e-learning courses, which are made interactive, so they are seamlessly integrated in our platform. And for this, it's very simple, because we address small and medium-sized companies. So they don't have to buy a very complex software, but they can buy us like a simple solution, so they met all the legal requirements. Our course catalog, as I said, is about data safety, work safety, IT security, maybe about also about quality management and compliance. And we continuously build our course catalog, so it's growing all the time. And here are our milestones. So we joined the BSS, so the Berlin Startup Stipendium, in June 2020, but we started earlier. So we started, in 2019. So before Corona, we had the idea of e-learning for small and medium-sized companies. And then we worked, but we worked in another company, my co-founder and me. So we worked for, in a fleet management company, and we built a driver instruction, how to tell the driver how to take the car in a very safe way. And then we thought there must be some other topics where that are legally required, and companies need a solution, a simple solution for that. So this was where the idea of Vinya was built. And then we applied for the BSS, and I guess we were the first round having this complete evaluation process digitally. And it worked out very well. We presented our evaluation pitch online. It was So we don't know how it worked before, but it worked pretty well online. So yeah, and then we were in this incubation process, and we take all the startup school workshops to really develop our business plan and the marketing strategy. And it helped us a lot that there are some steps in the process where we can orient ourselves to really develop the business. And then in September 2020, we founded our GmbH, so the Vinja e-learning GmbH in German. And yeah, worked a lot with our consultants, so with Irina, with the colleagues. And yeah, it's very good to have this orientation process. Then we really started our marketing and sales and talked with a lot of customers, and still expanding our course catalog, and we want to expand our team as well. After the BSS ends in end of July. And then of course there are always technical developments we have to implement. So that was about Vinja, and now I want to dive a little bit deeper into e-learning or learning and how we want to transform the mandatory into voluntary learning. And when we talk about e-learning, it's about digital learning content in form of an e-learning course where you can click through. There are a lot of other words for e-learning, like content sharing, online lectures, or something we do now, like these video courses, presentations, but we really see e-learning as a course. And there are, of course, a lot of advantages, or two major advantages of e-learning over classic classroom learning. And on the one hand, for the administrators, they can save a lot of organizational effort, resources, and costs. And also, of course, for the ecological part, you can reduce traveling for trainers and everything in companies, and reduce the CO2 level emissions. And on the learner side, on the other hand, e-learning is characterized by a very high degree of flexibility. So the learner can learn from everywhere they want to, and every time they want to. So it really fits into their work processes. But still there's, of course, some negative parts, because you need at least a bit of media competence. So of course you have to build the e-learnings that everyone can use it, but still there has to be IT infrastructure, and you should know how to click through this course. And there is a lack of interaction between course participants and the trainer, and therefore e-learning is not for every knowledge. So it should be factual knowledge or some kind of standardized content. For us, it's easy. It's the mandatory training, so it's legally required content. So it's kind of standardized. For us, it was a big question whether e-learning is at least legitimate for the mandatory training. We had to think about this a lot, and luckily it is, otherwise we wouldn't be there. The instruction by the e-learning is legally permitted, but it is recommended that you have another time for asking questions to an expert. So it's kind of a blended learning concept. And you have to have a final comprehension check and a proof of instruction, of course. This is what we do with our training management platform, where you could see whether the employees had done the instruction. So the integration on one platform, as I said, has very advantage for the administrators, that you have really the management on one platform. You have the verification that you have done this, and you have automated processes. It's a big advantage for the most of the companies, especially for the small ones who wants a seamless platform. So, and you gather all your knowledge on one platform and make the mandatory training or the e-learning in companies, some kind of the knowledge management. For the learners, it's very important to have this, that the courses look kind of the same, so not with really the same knowledge, but you have to give them the orientation in the courses and in the software. And yeah, research found out that good learning environments, so good and modern courses, can engage the employees to the customer and really develop the learning processes, and that they remember more when the learning environment is good. And they can track their own learning successes within the platform. So coming to the big question, how to turn a dry topic into an exciting one, how to turn mandatory into voluntary training. We built some elements for this. First is micro learning. This is where you split your content into small pieces, into small units. You can do this. So we did this with different chapters of learning, like in school you always do this, but still also within the e-learning course, split your text boxes into smaller pieces, because most of the people, I mean, either want to read like very huge texts within this e-learning. And second is the storytelling. So it doesn't have to be a fictional Star Wars story, but some kind of thread you build through your content, so it really becomes clear why the learner has to learn it or go through it, and this builds attention. And here we work with a lot of examples, practical examples, because especially the legally required content is very hard to understand sometimes. So yeah, it's very important to build these practical examples that they understand what it means for them. So the why of the learning is very important. Then third, it's the multimediality, because there are a lot of different learning types, and they should be considered in building e-learning. So we took more medias. I will jump into this afterwards, to really receive every learning types in this e-learning course. And at least the gamification element, you should encourage your interaction with the course, because you don't have it with the trainer. So you should. So we did it with the content itself. I will show this now. So I brought some examples at the end of my presentation, how we did it, or what elements we implement in our courses. It's first the text element, but as you see here, we don't want this fully based text in this e-learning, because it's very hard to read and maybe boring for a lot of people. So we split our content in small pieces, and you have some kind of interaction, because you have to click on all these buttons, and then you have this the small eye on the left button says it's very for the visual learning type you receive here. Then we have the visually supported content with pictures and infographics. We implement in our courses, and this is but here we really make sure that the pictures match the text in these courses, so the learner understands what's in it. Then we have audiovisual media, like explainer videos, animations, and here as well, the content should match the information. So really, we have these animation videos here with subtitles, and also the opportunity to always read it instead of watching the video, because some employees rather read it than watching this. Then we have text and exercises. This is especially important for mandatory training because you have to ensure this a knowledge check at the end. And yeah, we have different kinds of it. Can be drag and drop, click and reveal, and this simple multiple choice questions. And we always guarantee a sample solution, so they really learn something out of it, whether their answer is correct or not. And here you have other learning types. So you have this communicative learning type. So you really interact with the content and don't get just presented the content, but still interact with it. And you have to think about what you just read. And at least the gamification elements there, I'm a huge fan of this. So we have quizzes, we have interactive videos within our courses. And this is like a fun part of our courses, at least for mandatory training, as fun as they can get. But you have to think about that you don't overwhelm the participants with this, because I guess courses only with interactions are very hard to get through, and it's very overwhelming. So this is what we implement in our e-learning courses, and if you get a good mix of this, I guess it can be very interesting, the courses, and to interact with the content, so it gets a little bit more fun.